like the 3-minute delay you got built in.
Brian Laundrie is his name, and we're going to talk about him.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to be talking about Brian Laundrie. We have some important updates. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, so these are groundbreaking updates. But before we get into it, guys, if we could ask you to give us a like and a subscribe, that would absolutely be fantastic. It would get our reach out and, help everyone come join us. So.
Yeah, and if you'll do that, we're going to show you the really good shit tonight.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so these are some, there's news on this topic every single day. Brand new. It's every day.
So real quick, could you guys tell me who Brian Laundrie is? Because I don't know.
Yeah, so Brian Laundrie.
Nobody knows who he
You're
is.
living under a rock. Yeah, Brian Laundrie is Gabby Petito's fiance.
Alleged murderer.
Alleged murderer. So Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie went on a...
Wait. We subscribe to the highest journalistic ethics. He is a person of interest,
That's
and don't
right,
you forget
yeah.
it.
Person of interest. He's a person of interest. Him and his fiance Gabby Petito went on a long road trip.
Cross-country trip.
Cross-country. Brian Laundrie came back without Gabby. We don't know where Gabby is a few days later.
Yeah, September 1st, I believe.
Yeah.
She was reported missing.
Yeah, well, September 11th, she's reported missing, and then a few days later, they find her body, and then
he came back on September 1st.
Yeah.
Bad business.
And Brian's gone. So.
Yeah, I was joking. I just kind of wanted a summary real quick. So good job.
Yeah, and certainly, please everybody know out there, this is getting a little bit ridiculous, and we're going to have some fun with it today, but there's nothing fun about some wonderful people who've lost their daughter and two parents that seem to me like to be as dirty as their son because they helped him evade the police. So that's my position on it. But dog gets involved. That changed everything, man.
Dog the bounty hunter's on it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Man, he's got contacts the cops don't even know about.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty sad if Dog the bounty hunter finds him before the FBI does.
Wouldn't you like to see him walk in there and then about that next morning he comes out dragging that dude by his hair and the guy's screaming.
Free speech.
And he's just screaming. He's dragging behind him like a cave woman used to do, like Barney Rubble
so
did to
he
Betty.
tried to warn his parents, right? He went to their house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he warned them.
Yeah.
What was he warning them? That something was coming?
That he was going to find their son and bring him back alive. So
Dog.
Yeah, so he was trying to give them the opportunity to turn themselves in if they knew any information that he was going to find them.
So what if this...
And they called the cops. They called 911 on him for coming to the door.
What if this whole thing is just like a Dog the Bounty Hunter episode?
It's great advertisement for him, isn't it?
Well, Dog said after the fact that prior to going up to their house and knocking on the door, he said there were cop cars, at every corner. And he stopped and he said, hey, and of course they knew who he was. And he said, can I go up there and knock on the door? And they said, sure, man. Everybody else is. And so he went up there and, giving it a damn good rap.
Yep.
But he did nothing illegal. Calling 911, they were probably laughing at her ass.
They were just sitting out there waiting on him.
Yeah. The cops were already sitting there looking, watching him knock on the door, and they're on the 911 thing.
Yeah, we saw him. We actually let him go up there.
Right. We're here, ma'am, and we're going to advise him to start shooting in about 30 seconds if you don't come out.
Yeah, so
we got a video, right, to check out on this.
So we have a video. We're gonna go ahead and play this, and I guess see some news.
The parents of Gabby Petito speak for the very first time tonight since Gabby's body was found 2 Sundays ago.
They're remaining tight-lipped about the investigation, but they say they have full confidence in the FBI.
And the search continues for Brian Laundrie locally with a new area of interest.
Yeah, so the first area of interest, clearly they haven't found him. And so this new area of interest, what they're about to talk about, is going to be the campsite that Brian and his parents went to after Gabby was already.
Yeah, and did you hear the sick thing about that they actually went camping after he came back on the 1st? After she was already dead, supposedly, they went camping on 2 different events at this campground together with the parents.
Well, that tells me that they firmly believe he's innocent.
Yeah.
That looks like the Florida Keys. Where is that?
Hey,
This is near Tampa.
Tampa, okay.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer's
St.
mother
Petersburg area.
was screaming about his innocence.
Yeah.
And they had him admitting eating body parts out of the freezer, and she was still screaming he was in mothers. She can't count mothers and dads on that.
It's Fort DeSoto Park in Pinellas County. You can see Action Air 1 was overhead today.
And that's where we find our Heather Lee live for us tonight. Heather, why is the investigation turning to this park more than 60 miles away from their previous search area and a completely different county?
Well, Jameson, it's because we were able to confirm that Roberta Laundrie, Brian's mother, did check in to this Fort DeSoto Park between September 6th and September 8th. You can see her.
Well, and she's the one that checked in, obviously.
With him.
With him.
Not Dad.
Yeah, so with him, so.
Dad said, I don't want any part of this shit. I'm staying home.
On this Pinellas County Parks Fort DeSoto campground check-in report. And while we do not know officially if Brian or even her husband was with her, their lawyer confirms all 3 of them did go on this trip together and that Brian came home with them after that trip. Now here's video again. Action Air 1 took just above Fort DeSoto this morning. We flew out here to see if there was any police activity and we did not see anything. We've reached out to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office for video surveillance at the entrances and exits of the park during the same dates that would show people coming and going, but we were told those videos are part of an active investigation with.
Yeah, and they're wanting to get this footage of the cars coming and going because we know the camper, we know the truck, so they're obviously we're trying to see, hey, who actually came in, who left, did she just check in? Did she, are they working with the campground to say, hey, yeah, they checked in, but they weren't actually here?
And they'll get to do what they do in all those cop shows where they say, could you zoom in on that?
We want to see in that
and
window.
Suddenly a 72 DPI picture becomes a 480 or 720. I never have figured out how they do that.
Enhance.
The enhance mode.
So is this like one last family trip before he gets locked up forever or something?
Who knows? I mean, because well, here's the thing. He knows, Brian knows what happened to Gabby. And so even, let's just say, for instance, he didn't tell his parents. Maybe this trip was already planned previously, and that's why they came home early, and he hasn't told his parents any of this. And so then he knows, I want to go on this trip with them. So he doesn't say it. Who knows? Maybe he told them, and the parents are like, well, let's just pretend like nothing happened. Let's go on a trip because we'll never see you outside bars again. So
That's a great
who knows?
And his mother loves him. It's still her little buddy.
Yeah.
You know what? Their ass is in Disney World. That's where the hell they are.
I mean, so
shit. Let me get dog on the phone.
Bob's like Sherlock Holmes over here.
No, but seriously, I mean, let's just say the parents didn't know Gabby was going to not return from the trip. I mean,
she lived with them.
Brian is still, well, yeah. I mean, Brian is still her son. It's still, his son. So, obviously they still love him. But, what do you do?
Blood is thicker than water, man. Like your parents will always love you. So.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe this was one last vacation.
The other thing I haven't heard that I was interested in is whether or not there was any type of relationship between the 2 sets of parents. Was there any bad blood? Because they said that this so-called, roughhousing and slapping and abuse had been going on, and everybody knew about it. So I would like to think if I was Gabby's father, I hated that little bastard already and couldn't wait for him to get out of her life because I'd heard about this shit. And she'd probably come home crying a lot of times, maybe with a bruise on her face for getting slapped around because he was slapping around in public for enough for the damn cops to come.
Oh, yeah. Well, what happened?
So...
Yeah, I heard they got in a big fight at a restaurant, and he wouldn't even let her get in the car.
Yeah,
and
so
that was possibly the night
last
before.
day.
Yeah, and
so what I'm
and
getting
she
at,
actually dove through the driver's side window to get back in the
so
car.
there was no communication between Landry's parents and Gabby's parents. So yes, he could have come back and told them, "Oh no, she's gone on up to see a friend up in Pennsylvania," and that was good for quite a while until her parents started saying something's up. So really, what was that? 2 weeks that she was laying out there dead in that ravine, and he had time to just maneuver around like hell.
It's 12 or 13 days,
That's
I believe.
plenty of time to go.
So have you heard about the sightings, the other sightings where he is located?
Yeah, I have not.
Okay.
I mean,
there's like a trail cam that's in Okaloosa
Oh,
County
yeah,
that he
yeah,
showed
okay,
up
yeah.
on.
I thought you were
supposedly, but they've since said that wasn't him.
Yeah,
and then there was he was in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
And then there's been reportings in North Carolina I saw. So
I mean, he's a tall, skinny, bald guy. I mean, if you see a tall, skinny, bald guy, you're gonna think, hey, that might be him. It's pretty recognizable.
So we got a couple of comments from our
our
chat on the YouTube. So Pixel Joe says, "I bet he left the country." I mean, that's a
what I would
idea.
do, right?
And
Wouldn't
then,
you go for
and then
go to Mexico?
It'd be hard to get on an airplane.
J.E. Balch thinks he's dead in the swamp, so maybe
I'll tell you
like
what,
a
one
suicide
misstep in that first one, if he was ever in there, a crocodile gets you and you're gone.
Yeah.
They do not leave you laying up on the beach.
Yeah, we have a couple seconds left, or 30 seconds left. So let's see. Yeah,
It's a nice yellow
PD
pipe.
and the FBI. We also found a chopper owned by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office was circling the Fort DeSoto Park last night between 11:40 p.m. until 12:40 this morning. When we asked what they were doing, they told us it's part of an active investigation and to reach out to Northport PD and the FBI. Now, we do want to remind you, Brian's parents are not.
So what do you think about the police department kind of keeping? I mean, the under investigation is a pretty common way to say we're not giving you any information. What do you think about that? I mean, this has gone obviously national for how long?
I mean, I think that's standard procedure, though.
It is. I mean, yeah, that is standard procedure.
If something came out, like Laundrie can see the news, and so it like lets him, get some information.
I mean, it is pretty standard procedure when something's going on. Like, look.
Oh, I guess you got experience with cops.
Yeah. But I mean, they're not just gonna probably go releasing information, but I feel like in some cases, maybe giving out information to the public is when something this big is taken up, like maybe help the public. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I know one time I'd heard a backstory, and they said that they had to be very careful about the information they released because it generated hundreds of phone calls and emails with leads.
They have to sort through.
And everybody's kind of like, what the, it just threw a big monkey wrench in there.
Yeah,
and so they're
true.
trying to keep it as quiet and bona fide as they can, I guess. That was kind of the message I got. It was a couple of years ago with the murder investigation. And people were seeing this bastard all over the United States at the same time.
Yeah.
So do we still got some seconds left?
Considered suspects and have not been charged with anything. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Gabby.
Oh yeah, so that was the end of it. But yeah, I mean, and there's some pictures floating around with this particular case where a family that was actually camping next to the Laundries have a family selfie photo, and in the background is a tall, skinny, bald guy.
It might be Bigfoot.
Yeah, we solved that
Blurry.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. So,
I was just reading an article on Fox News before I walked in here, and supposedly Dog the Bounty Hunter was stating that they're searching with K9 units off Egmont Key, which is several miles off this campground. And supposedly it's close enough. It's a remote island, and it has a lighthouse and different things. But supposedly he kayaked over there, and he could be living over there right now. So they're searching that area.
Yeah. So why is it taking the FBI so long? I don't know. I mean, we live in a country where we have everything. We can.
They tried to put Trump in jail for 2 years, and they never got close. What the hell do you expect? They can't find their damn dick in a bathroom.
That's a little bit different. We're talking.
No, it's not. They wanted Trump a lot worse.
So, have y'all seen the stuff about Gabby being in a Sandy Hook video? Have y'all seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's been reported on like Yahoo. It's been reported on some Yahoo Entertainment as teenager Gabby Petito appeared in a video commemorating Sandy Hook victims. So the conspiracy theorists are kind of going wild with that now because, there's all these conspiracy theories about Sandy Hook, which, an awful situation where the elementary school kids were murdered.
Sure.
But there's all these theories that there were like crisis actors that showed up,
yeah, I don't know if I believe that because they had a funeral last Saturday but
this was
they
when
had the body.
This was when
autopsy.
This was when she was younger though. she was in a Sandy Hook video. The song will now be recorded in her memory.
Well, she's from the New York area,
Yeah.
so she could have. I mean,
so there must be some
Long
connection. And gosh, there was something else I heard about this theory. Oh, and I don't know. I don't have the article right here to support it, but I heard somebody say that the coroner or whoever verifies she was dead was the same as George Floyd's. But that seems a bridge too far. But I did hear that.
Don't think I'm going to buy that.
But the conspiracy theorists are getting fired up.
When you start putting conspiracy theories out there, those usually are a little more misleading than helpful, I feel like. So
most of the time.
So
sometimes they come true.
I wanted to ask the question though, where do you guys think he could be? Where would you go if you were him, or what's his most likely location?
So to make this quick, I mean, obviously this is a very terrible, terrible event. I will say, no, I don't know what happened, but whatever he and his parents have done to get the outcome they wanted, they did a very good job. This is an awful event, and I wouldn't want this to ever happen again. But I mean, he's had so long to hide. If he's not dead, he could literally be anywhere in the world right now. I mean, even with the 3 days that you had, a 3-day jump start to get across the country when they were looking.
They did a great job. They didn't tell that he was missing for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then supposedly his car went to this reserve, and then they went and picked it up. So he could have been long gone.
In 3 days, you could be in Mexico. Once you're in Mexico, you could have 4 or 5, 7 days. From there, you get some cash.
Okay.
Seems pretty easy to cross the border right now.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Let's Elon Musk this rationale, how he works from the bottom up. All right, we know one thing. She's dead. She was his boyfriend for quite some time. He's done a runner. Now, one or two reasons he's done this. He's either a psychopath, sociopathic killer, meant to kill her. His parents are somehow weirdly connected into this, maybe through a bunch of lies. Or it was accidental, and he's still kind of psychopathic, and he's running for his life because he thinks there's no way they're going to charge me and put me in the electric chair.
I mean,
what else? What other two things?
Would you run though if you didn't kill her?
That's what I mean.
That's okay.
Why,
So that's
why would you run if you didn't kill her? You'd go crying up to the service station, saying, "My girl's in a ditch."
My thought is he killed her accidentally, just like you said. Because I mean, he was clearly a violent person. I mean,
he could have done it in rage.
Yeah,
accidentally.
Yeah, I mean, he or violent.
Body slammed her and she died.
I mean, he was slapping her and pushing her around. You don't do that with someone that you love unless there's repetitively.
There is no excuse for that.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that.
It was a toxic relationship.
Unless you caught her in bed with George Foster.
Yeah, so I think something accidentally happened. I mean, maybe he accidentally choked her or something. I mean, not but cut her breathing off. And he didn't realize it, and she passed out.
Well, what was it? 2 weeks ago, some lady that had been hiking in the Tetons all of her flipping life ends up dead after a 225-foot fall, all alone.
In the past couple of years, I've been
that?
to the Tetons and Zion, so this is kind of interesting.
I mean, it happens to the best in the world.
Yeah, there's places.
They friggin' fall.
Yeah. So
what makes this complicated, though, is he's like a survivalist, so he knows what he's doing. He lived in a van for 2 months. He could be in the Appalachian Trail now, living in the woods. But most likely, he's probably in an area he knows well, which is, on the Gulf Coast or St. Petersburg area, Tampa area, on an island.
I don't even know if that's most likely at this point. I mean, I think we have the technology and the capabilities to find someone that we want to know, that we want to find. I think we can do it if they're in the country. If they're out of the country, it's a little more difficult.
He's a smart guy. He's got a burner phone, they said, supposedly now. So
if he's that smart, who in the hell would want to hide and work his way down to the very tip end of the dead end of America? Huh? I mean, give him a break. He's like, hell no, I'm heading up into the mainland of the United States. He's put himself in a mousetrap down there if he's actually down there.
I think if there's anything we can learn from this, he is a smart person. I mean, not he doesn't
devious.
He applies himself.
He's devious.
Yeah, I mean, he applies himself in the wrong way. It's like, but a killer doesn't get away like this unless they have
he will be found.
Yeah,
everybody gets found at some point.
Yeah, and
so the YouTube chat is hoping that Dog the Bounty Hunter catches him. Also, somebody else suspects he's in Afghanistan. So
I hope Dog catches him as well.
Yeah, that'd be a
maybe Dog
ending.
created.
I want to see an
whole
episode
thing
of this on
for a
A&E
new
from
show.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Dog's stock has gone through the ceiling now. He's salivating, man. He's loving this.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's I guess a lot of the recent updates on this story. And yeah. I mean,
This
if
has
you
been
guys,
fun.
if you guys in the comments, or if you guys know anything, post it down there. Let us know if there's if
help
anything,
us find Brian
anything new
Laundrie.
develops. We're gonna cover it. I mean, this is. I mean, it's good news.
And
so.
get on the freespeechforum.com and join in a thread talking about it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Again, guys, if you enjoyed, please give us a like and a subscribe. Yeah, and
time.
we will see you guys later.
See you.
Adios, amigos.